All right, so here's a great way that you can use Google Forms to collect student data. So in this case, I just had a set of different learning objectives that I gave my students for a unit, and I wanted to know how confident they felt that they understood these different topics. So I gave them a survey, and it was a scale of 1 to 5. Scale of 1 to 5, how confident do you feel that you understand that light behaves as both a wave and a particle, and understand the properties that that show evidence of both? So they would either say that they don't feel comfortable, or they feel really comfortable, or they're somewhere in the middle. And then once they've done this for all of the questions, I can take a look at the inside of that. So when I go to the teacher side of the Google form, I can take a look at the responses here. And I can kind of see a visual output of where my students feel about these different topics. So I can see that, just kind of looking at this bell curve, it's a little bit more slanted towards the left. Maybe I need to go over the law of reflection, how it pertains to the angle of incident. This one looks pretty good, but over here, man, I really need to go over how to calculate the angle of refraction in a medium using Snell's law. So that's something that the Google form really, really showed me visually. To do this, all you have to do is go to create a new Google form, and you can do that by coming in here to your Google Drive, clicking New, Google Form. I'm just going to build on the one that I made here. So I'm going to create a new question and click on the little plus sign. And I'm going to make this a linear scale, 1 to 5, where 1 is I don't feel confident, and 5 is I feel very confident. I would write my question in here. I've typed out my question. I can make this a required question. I can duplicate the question and then make some changes to make another question. If I had some sort of like a picture of a mathematical formula, I could include that picture here. I can also change the kind of question. I can do short answer, paragraph. So maybe I do another question and I say, do you have any comments or concerns about the information? And then they can provide a written response to that question as well. The nice part about Google Forms is that all of the data gets put into a Google Sheet as well, which I will go over in another video. But you can see all of this information in Google Sheets. And I've used this Google Sheet to actually color code the different answer choices. So if it's a 5, it's a green. If it's a 1, it's a red. So now I can kind of take a look at this and see any sort of trends like this one student right here. I made this an anonymous survey, but this one student right here is really, really struggling. Reds all across the board. So maybe I need to go and I can do some one-on-one instruction with this student if I had collected student names from this as well. And to do that, all I would have to do is include the question at the front of the first question as name. And you can even put here if you'd like to include it. And then if I want it to be an option to be anonymous, I would keep this not required. If I didn't want it anonymous and they have to tell me their name, I would just mark that as a required question.